If to get a couple of squeeze pages out for you that you don't have to worry about the designs, and you don't mind spending anything between $50 and $200 or $300 depending on the complexity and the quality of your actual squeeze page you're going to get, you can then outsource to freelancers who can do the work and designs for you. And if you go to sites like Elance, they have a design and multimedia section. You can even get people who make videos for you, not just the graphics. There's other sites like Guru, again another freelancing website. Design Outpost, where you can get designers to do logos, squeeze pages, all sorts of graphics and web designs for you. And then Get a Freelancer as well, which is also a freelancing site that's growing all the time on the web and has been going now for some years, and one that we use quite a lot as well. So there's lots of different ways you can outsource if you don't want to go through the hassle and process of designing the site for yourself. It allows you to then, of course, to start concerning yourself more with the marketing and the actual process of what's going to happen with the squeeze page when they're coming and going from it, as opposed to the actual design itself. You can then not have to worry about that if you're outsourcing. Part of the planning of your pages and also the design of the follow-on pages, if you're going to outsource and you're going to get a designer to do your squeeze page for you for a few extra dollars because they've done the main part of the design anyway, ask them to do the thank you page, the download page if it's all relevant to your squeeze page. If you're making more of like a mini site in effect, get them to do the designs of those elements for you as well. An opt-in box to go on your WordPress blog, the thank you and download pages that I mentioned, some affiliate banners and tools that match the squeeze page. Think of all the parts and pieces that you might need that actually complement and will be used with the squeeze page, not just the one squeeze page itself, and either do them yourself when you're doing your design, or if you're outsourcing, mention those to your designer and freelancer and ask them if they'll include that in a package for you as well. Now this part is a really exciting part for me that most people don't talk to you about, but is actually very powerful and can, depending on the demographic and the person and types of people you're selling to or marketing to, colour psychology does play a big part. And we haven't got time to go through all of it in this video course because this is a subject in itself, but it's something I'd like you to be aware of. One thing you need to consider is that big marketing giants, the Fortune 500, huge companies worldwide, they invest hundreds of thousands of pounds, dollars, yen, whatever, every year into colour psychology in their marketing campaigns. They never discount this. They always use it in their branding and how they actually approach their marketing. So if you're designing a web page in general or a squeeze page, make sure that you use the colour psychology carefully. Things like black can be known for, obviously, some people would consider black to be associated with death, although in some countries it's white. But black can be very powerful, very strong. It can also suggest a lot of intelligence. If you think about university students, they wear those black gowns. It can be associated with quality and power, as I mentioned. So black can be a very powerful, influential colour, but if you have too much, it can very much overpower the message. And again, comes back to, does it need to be complicated and keeping your pages simple? Think about the colour as well. Apparently a lot of the reasons why fast food outlets use reds and oranges is because it encourages people to eat up quicker and leave, which is the ultimate aim of their restaurants, which is quite interesting if you actually look into it. There are safe colours, there are colours that mean different things to different people in different places, so I'd spend a bit of time doing some research. I'm going to look at swipe files in just a moment to give you an idea of some of the powerful brands that are out there in the market, and you can see some of the colour schemes they use, and you'll see that white is also very commonly used, and black and greys can be powerful as well if they're used in the right way. But to give you an idea of why you should certainly look into your market, if you think of the colour yellow, it can come up different connotations depending where you are. In the North America and Europe, sometimes it can be considered, or the UK and North America, yellow might be considered to be associated with cowardice, but it can also be yellow if you walk into a room. It can be bright, cheerful, sunshine, all those nice colours. But if a yellow is too inflamed, it can actually be shown to increase anger in people and can actually make babies very, very hyperactive. It's been shown in studies. Also, yellow, when if you consider in Chinese, in China is very a sacred colour. In Greece, it's considered to be associated with sadness, and within France, it will be considered to be more jealousy. So yellow can have different meanings all around the world. So think about your audience when you're designing your products as well, and really give some colour psychology some thought, and spend a bit of time going on the web and investigating it a bit more. If you're only using soft colours, don't worry too much, it won't impact, but again, test your market, it will really help you. But if you start planning to use very powerful, vivid images and colours on your site, then spend a bit of time looking into this in a bit more detail. Ultimately, you can plan your page, you can put the steps together, you can make it a simple design, you can make it a complicated design, you can buy the best software to do the designs, you can outsource to the best freelancers on the planet. You can have all the systems in places, all the steps from the pre-sale through to the squeeze page to the actual sell itself or whatever it is you're doing. But if you don't do split testing, you're not going to learn what's working and what's not. Split testing will give you very powerful information, and it will allow you to set benchmarks on what's working best and then tweak the next part and move on. And there is so much. Don't think that a squeeze page is so simple there's nothing to test. You can test the headline, you can test the sub-headline, you can test a opt-in box that has just an email address versus a first name and email versus a first name and email and an address and a first name and email and telephone number. You can use different colours, you can use different backgrounds, you can use different subheadings, you can use different benefits and features, you can use different graphics that are call to action, you can use privacy policy on the page, privacy policy not on the page, you can put spam policies on the page, not on the page. There is so much that you can test, and each time you'll see the results improving and getting better and better and better if you're doing it right, to the point of where you're getting the most as you can from your squeeze pages. Not only will you be thankful, but if you're using squeeze pages for your affiliates, so they were doing affiliate marketing, they'll thank you for it as well. And the other thing that goes along with that for me is when you're thinking about planning your pages, is this little bit here, swipe files. You really should start to build up a collection of websites. Just use a browser, set up a bookmark, and build a collection of swipe files, sites and squeeze pages that grabbed your attention and made you opt in. Why did you opt in? Try to stop yourself and make a physical note. Go back to sites that you know you've signed up to where you went through a squeeze page. Write down the steps of how you feel when you get to the page. It might sound very scientific and a bit over the top, but it will help you when you come to designing your own squeeze pages. And then just build up a swipe file that you can refer back to when it comes to doing your own designs.